All right, today we are plunging way, way down into the Pacific Ocean, right off the coast of Japan. We're going to meet a creature that honestly looks like it crawled right out of a sci-fi movie. It's an animal with absolutely incredible proportions and, surprisingly, a whole lot of grace. So let's get right into it. So to really get our heads around the creature we're talking about, let me start with a question for you. What is the largest arthropod on the entire planet? I mean, when you picture the biggest quippy crawly you can think of, what comes to mind? Maybe a tarantula, a giant centipede? Whatever you're imagining right now, it's probably not even close to this scale. 12.5 feet. Yeah, you heard that right. Let that number just sink in for a second. That's a leg span wider than a lot of cars, more than twice the height of an average person. It is so massive, it's kind of hard to even picture. And this isn't some myth or legend. This is a real living animal. And here it is. This is the Japanese giant spider crab. It is, without a doubt, the undisputed champion, the largest arthropod in the world by leg span. This is the true leviathan of the deep, and we're about to find out what makes it so amazing. So what exactly makes this crab such a titan? Let's start by breaking down its incredible anatomy. You know, its Japanese name, Takaashigani, really could not be more perfect. It literally translates to tall legs crab. And, well, as we've just seen, they weren't kidding. Those legs are absolutely its most famous feature. And what's really cool is how you can tell the males and females apart just by looking at them. The males, they have these massive, super long claws, or chelipeds. In fact, they can be even longer than their other walking legs. The females, on the other hand, have smaller claws, but their abdomen is much wider, which makes a perfect little basket for carrying and protecting all her eggs. Okay, so we know what it looks like, but where on earth does a creature like this actually live? Let's dive into its deep-sea world and find out what's on the menu. These crabs are true deep-sea specialists. They spend most of their lives way down on the sandy, rocky ocean floor, sometimes almost 2,000 feet deep, where it's dark and cold. But get this, once a year, they make a huge trip, migrating up to shallower waters just to mate and lay their eggs. So what does a giant with legs that long eat? Well, just about anything it can find. It's a total omnivore. It uses those long legs to scrape algae and plants off rocks, and it uses those powerful claws to pry open shellfish. But it also plays a really important role as a scavenger, kind of like the cleanup crew for the ocean floor, eating any dead animals it comes across. Now, you'd think that being this huge means you don't really have to worry about predators, right? Well, the deep sea is a tough neighborhood, and the Japanese spider crab has some surprisingly clever tools for staying safe. This has to be one of my favorite things about them. The younger crabs are basically underwater artists. Their shells are already kind of bumpy and help them blend in, but they take it way further. A young crab will literally find things like sponges or other sea anemones, carefully tear off a piece, and then stick it right onto its own back. How amazing is that for camouflage? On top of that incredible decorating skill, their main defense is just a classic, a hard armored exoskeleton. It's like wearing a suit of armor. But here's the truly wild part. They can regenerate. If one of its long legs gets caught in a fishing net or grabbed by a predator, the crab can often just regrow a new one the next time it molts. So how does a creature this epic even come to be? It's time to trace the incredible life journey of the Japanese spider crab. It all starts with one almost unbelievable number, 1.5 million. That is roughly how many eggs a single female can carry at one time. But out of that enormous number, the odds are tough, and only a tiny, tiny fraction will actually survive to become adults. When they first hatch, they look nothing, and I mean nothing, like their giant parents. They start their lives as these microscopic little larvae, just floating around as plankton in the ocean currents. They go through a bunch of different stages, with cool names like prezoa, zoa, and megalopa, before they finally transform and settle down on the seafloor as a teeny tiny crab. And here's a look at what one of those early stages might be like. It's just so hard to wrap your head around the fact that this little, almost shrimp-like creature is destined to become the biggest arthropod on the entire planet. What a transformation. So, how do they get so big? I love how the Tennessee Aquarium puts it. They have to go through a glow-up. The technical term is molting. You see, since that hard shell can't stretch, the crab has to completely shed its old one in order to grow bigger. It's a risky time, because for a little while, it's all soft and vulnerable until its new, bigger shell hardens up. And they keep going through this whole molting process for a very, very long time. In fact, the Japanese spider crab is one of the longest living crustaceans we know of. It's thought that they can live for up to 100 years. Just think about that, a crab crawling on the seafloor that could be a century old. Now, with those spidery legs and that imposing armored body, it's pretty easy to see why some people might find this creature, well, a little intimidating. But the truth about his personality is probably not what you'd expect. The Dallas World Aquarium just says it perfectly. Despite its ferocious appearance, this crab has a gentle, calm disposition. Those old stories you might hear about them dragging sailors underwater, totally myths. They're not aggressive animals at all. They're actually known for being quite peaceful. And really, it's that incredible combination, a spectacular, almost alien appearance paired with a super gentle nature that makes them such huge stars at public aquariums all over the world. People are just captivated by them, and seeing one in person is an experience you won't forget. The Japanese spider crab is just such a perfect reminder that our planet's oceans are still packed with mystery and wonder. I mean, if a 12-foot gentle giant is just casually crawling around down there, it really makes you wonder, what other incredible things are waiting to be discovered in the deep? Thanks for exploring with us today.